everybody, my name is Kiahonfire and welcome to a resource mega guide on the Towers of Aghasba. In this video we're going to be looking at clay, iron, hardwood, limestone, emeralds, rubies, kelp, oil, gold, coal, salt, seashells, latex, pearls and crystal. That is a lot on the list to look at, and because of that this video is chaptered, so if you need a certain thing or want to skip over a certain thing, then you may do so. First location is on Amani Island and it is on the western side. This is the first ever place I went to get clay, but there's some clay dotted around by this beach section just by the cave area, and you can find several dots of it around here. Next location is where a lot of people would have set up base. It is in the starter region on Amani Island, on this starter island. Now this area is great for resources, but there is clay dotted around all around this area, so just have a look just before the river for some clay nodules. Coming over to Aztembo, we're coming to one of my absolute favorite places to farm clay, and this location is incredible, not just for clay but for things like limestone and stone as well. It is really nice just to come here and just farm all of that in one go. So here we have just a load of clay, we have a bunch of stone, some limestone around here, but loads of clay, and it's not just this bit, it's a bit on further as well. If we walk over there, there's some more clay to farm up. This is a super location for it. Highly recommend it, and you can glide from the portal all the way over here. Now we'll be looking at iron, and I'm going to go over to my first location and my favorite location in Ishaya. And it's down this roadway that is not far from the back of the museum. Along the road is several nodules of iron, and there's probably about 5 or 6 here that you can farm, so it's quite nice. It's really close to Midhaven, so really like that fact that it's so easy to access. Moving up to Moyo Vale. If you don't want to see the arid zone, then skip this part, but we're going to get some by the portal if you need some for a certain quest around here. So if you pop up here, there's some iron very near the shrine. So you go up the back of it, you don't even have to climb, and there's just a bunch of iron nodes here. Our next iron location is very near the starter zone, and it's in this little corner. It's just south of the fishing hut, really, and there's a couple of nodules. There is a bunch around the back as well in a different location, but I'll be covering that in the coal section because it has more coal than anything. And my next one is a kind of hodgepodge of just multiple resources on the starter island. So there's this absolutely massive cave on this island, and you'll first probably notice like spiders and stuff in it, but you can actually get an iron pickaxe from the chest in the middle. I'll show you where that is as well. So you can farm some of these cool things around here. So right in the middle of the cave, up a little ledge, is a chest, and you can get an iron pick in here. That's how I got mine. And then you can just find a bunch of stuff around here like coal, iron, stone, crystal. There's some rubies in here as well. It's just dotted around all around the cave. I've lit it up a little bit. It's not that clear to see them with the gamma turned up, but it was really hard to see with the dark mode, so hopefully this gives you a little bit of a picture of what you can find around in this very dark cave. Next we'll be talking about hardwood, and there's many ways to get it. Yes, I just said that. I'm going to start with one spot I know is really good for like a bunch of it. So Moyo Vale. This is a place with a bunch of hardwood stumps on the high northern section next to the portal. So in this area there's loads of stumps, and if you dig them up they will give you hardwood. Now this is more of a later game type thing. If you want some things in a lower region, then keep holding on and I'll show you those too, because there's absolutely loads of ways to get hardwood in this game. But all over this mossy section is just a load of stumps, so that's why I wanted to share it, because it's a very good consistent area to get a lot. Moving on to our beginner island, Amani Island, we're on top of the shrine. Why? Because near the portals is a lot of these cotton stumps. Now, these have a chance of giving you hardwood. Not every time, but they have a chance, and they are everywhere. But I do find them most commonly around a lot of portals, so that's another thing you can farm. It's also something you can plant at home. How about that? If you find yourself a strange seed and plant it, you can grow your own cotton, stalks at your own base. So I'm growing them at my farming town right now. There's also another way to get them, but you're going to need an iron axe for this, so just bear that in mind. And it's a tree that looks a lot like this. This is called a nashu tree, and this is where you can get some more hardwood. And this is currently growing in my temperate biome. Now coming over to the type deal that I had to deal with when I was first getting hardwood is the Forest God quest. So if you follow the Forest God quest, and the first one I'll show you in a bit, he will create these great patches of land if you complete his quests, and he will like summon these nice green regions for you. And then in the forest is these pink elongated fairy looking trees. They can be curly, they can be straight. They will give you wood sometimes, but they also have a chance of dropping hardwood out of them as well. And just to show you the first bit that you get it in the normal regions, so you'll be doing your quest line, it will point here when you got far enough, and it'll be like, go and see the forest god over here to do your town quest. And you'll be like, oh, I'll go up here, and you'll go up this road, and then this be this region where you'll find the forest god, you'll do his quest, he'll summon this forest here, and that's where you get some more hardwood. Now going into emeralds, we're going to go to a really easy location at Ishaya, and it's by the shrine and portal. You can find a nice bit of emerald just by the shrine, very easy to see and find. Going over to Moyo Vale, and we are above the portal once more, but there's a good reason why, and that's because there's a double node of emerald around here. So if you need another location for it, here you go. There's one there, and if we go up north from the first emerald I'm looking at, there is also another one on the rock face that you can access and find. Are you looking for the ever elusive amber? We'll head over to this region because there is one right near the portal of this region in general in Zamaku. So if we go over here, and there's like this big old weird rooty thing with water underneath, there's actually an amber node like right smack bang in the middle of this on top of it. It's really weird placement. You'll find it when you're gliding over from the portal, but you can get your amber from there, and it's like one of the only ones I've seen on the map. They don't seem to be that common, so there you go, you can find it on this very easy. Next we're going over to rubies, and we're going back to Zamaku Shrine again, and we're going to glide from there down into this massive crack in the land. Well, in this crack you can find several ruby nodes, and I'll be honest with you guys, ruby is one of those I found a lot of on this game, but in case you wanted a location for it, I have found a few in this crack area. If you go along it, you can locate a few for yourself. Next we're going over kelp, and honestly this has been one of my biggest struggle bus plants ever, because it's the only way I've found kelp and the only one I can find. So you need a salt fern, and what you need to do is dig up a salt fern, and it will give you a kelp and, well, some salt. Yes, it will be in your tropical region though, that's where it grows. So wherever you planted your tropical tree, the second tree you ever plant, is where it can grow. If it's not growing, you might want to, you know, dig up some trees, foliage and stuff, and try and get it to spawn over time, and hopefully it will pop up for you. It's been very elusive and rare for me, so that's how you get it, but it's a pain in the arse. Are you looking for some oil? Well, there's a couple of things you can do to get some more oil. If you plant spores anywhere, you get a chance of getting these mushrooms out of them. They look exactly like this, and if you dig them up, you have a chance of getting some oil out of them, which is always very nice. So this is planted in my farmland in my temperate biome at the moment, and I got some oil from it. And if you plant those spores, you know, you get a chance of getting it. I get a lot of big caps, but sometimes those do come out. The other way I found to get oil quite consistently is finding one of these sticky looking trees. This is near my tropical biome, but I have found them spawning down by my temperate biome as well. But it's a tree that has like loads of warts on it, like orange warts, and this is another way to get oil, and the tree is called a sticky root tree. So if we chop this down, you're going to get some oil, and it's actually quite a good amount of oil from this one, so I got like 3 from just chopping down this one tree. Are you looking for gold? Well, you can get gold out of a lot of rocks, like pretty much any rock in the game, but if you come over to this location, there is tons of gold mounds, like glory mounds, everywhere. Now, these are wonderful if you don't know about them, because they give a chance of giving you dust. They also have a chance of giving you nuggets, and you can get quite a few out of them. This location I'm going to show you next with them as well, I literally got 5 nuggets out of 2 lumps. So, yeah, they can be pretty spicy. It's a chance of what you get, but if you need nuggets, then this could be a place that you want to go. So yeah, just under the massive sky bridge area, there's just loads of these mounds that you can dig up with a shovel, and then hopefully you get some good gold out of those. And the other lumpy location I was talking about is in Moyo, and again above north of the portal, you can go there, and there's a couple of these gold nodes. You might need to do it for a quest or something, but there's a couple of them here. This is where I got the gold nuggets from, but you could get dust as well. Just depends on your RNG. Buckle up, we're going to Ishaya and we're going to find some coal nodes as well as limestone and a bit of clay as well. I'm going to take you on a super farming route just here in the valley, and this is where you kind of want to go when you're earning your first bits of limestone or just any rocks and anything. Crystals as well can be found here, which is really helpful. But I really do love this region because you just walk along and you can see we're already passing by quite a few coal nodes. So if you need coal, you will need it later on for a blacksmith here anyway. But you'll be going out throughout this region, and there's a few spider nests and things like that, which are kind of annoying, but really great for just farming things in general with stone as well. So if you need some early gold dust, you can, you know, go at those as well. But yeah, you can go throughout here. They've got limestone, more limestone, clay. We've got some more limestone over there, and then we'll go into this region, some more rocks on the floor, and here's like a super coal deposit right here, loads of coal nodules, so even more coal than before. Highly recommend it. Another crystal node to the side as well if you need some of that beautiful quartz. And then when you head back round, you can go around in a bigger loop, by the way. This is a loop, you go around all around. And you can even go in that covey area as well that has lots more limestone if you need. But I'm just showing you this tiny little route here. We're going to be heading down there, and we're going to go further down where you can find some even more rocks, more coal nodes going around there. And then we're going to go through that area, and you can see some limestone and clay, a lot of clay actually. There you go. Some more clay in this middle region. And then you go down into this part where you're going to find some more limestone, more clay, and it becomes a bit more like a coaly area down the bottom of here. But yeah, it's super handy. I really like running this like weird spirey region because you can just get so much throughout here. Highly recommend just having a look around this region when you're first starting out in this region to get those bits that you need. Go into the Star Island for some more coal focus. We're going to Amani, and there's a little coal location just below the portal here. So you're on top of this like small hill, and there's like 3 different coal nodules up here, which is nice if you need a bit of coal and you've put your main base close to here, so you can come here for that. And then here is a route that has loads of coal but a bit of iron as well, and this is in the east of Amani Starter Island, up on this rocky bit. So you go past the fishing hut, and then you have this back area that for some reason just has tons of coal and a bit of iron littered around here. So you go up and down these little bits of mountains, and there's just loads of it. There's a bit of stone here as well if you need. But yeah, just absolutely tons of coal and a bit of iron if you need for later on as well. You could combine this with the first iron route if you wanted as well. That's very close to this region. But yeah, definitely really good for coal mainly. Now we're heading to the south of Amani Island, and we're talking about salt. Now salt has been an absolute pain in my ass because it just seems to not spawn very much. However, the recent update introduced some more salt nodules, so hopefully they'll keep doing that. But basically you can find them on the beach and near rock pools, but here is one location you can find some. There's a couple of nodules here for some salt. Shifting over to the west side where we looked at a bit of clay earlier, there are some rock pools with some more salt, and there's something interesting here I wanted to show you that kind of leads me into my next point as well in a minute. But first we'll go over seashells. So in these rock pools there's quite a few seashells you can pick up. You're actually going to need it for a massive poo nearby, so you want to go and pick these up, and you get some shellfish as well. And that leads me nicely into my next point about pearls, which you're going to need for some step of your journey. They don't stack, but if you keep picking up those sand piles with a hole in the top, you might get a crab spawning, and these have a chance to give you a pearl upon killing them. Now you might not get them every time, but you might get one as a rare drop. If you don't fancy playing with fate, you could always just come back to the south of the Starter Island, and there is a little quest with an eye rock. But you would locate that rock, and you look at the rock, And from the rock, you go even further south and you can find like a herb in the sea. And this is going to be used as our indicator where to find a siren plant that gives you a pearl every single time. You will probably die of drowning. You also probably need some pretty good stamina for this, so you need to be further along in the game, which you should anyways by the time you're going to need a pearl. So you go down into this part and you're going to go further out to sea. Just keep going in the direction I'm going. You can look at the mini map if you're a bit confused where I'm going. And you're going to see this like bit of kelp sticking out far in. And here it is. There's a siren plant. So if you pick it, you'll get a lovely pearl, and you'll lose a bit of health doing so as well because it's prickly, but I'm going to drown anyway, so there you go. Next, we're talking latex, and you can find this tree growing near your tropical trees, so that's how I've gotten mine. I've also found them around the map a bit in the same region, but you can grow them by your tropical tree. They look a lot like this, and you're going to need an iron hatchet to be able to farm them up. But if you do so, you'll be able to get some latex out of them for all your questing needs. But that's what a latex tree looks like. But either way, that's all the resources on my list today. If there's any you're confused about, give me a comment and I'll see if I can answer it. I've been trying to bash out the game for you so I can get you a really good resource guide in there. Hopefully it helped. Hopefully there's a lot of references you could use. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. Hopefully they add in some more spawns later on. We're near the start of the game at the moment and there's not a lot of resources dotted around the map. It is quite empty, so yeah, it can be a bit of a struggle. But either way, I hope it helped. If it did, smash a like on it, and if you want to see some more videos of this game, make sure to check out my channel and subscribe. It would help me a whole bunch. But either way, thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.